now we're gonna throw the traction control off and we're gonna do a drift and see if the boat survives. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be doing a towing test with the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X. I'm gonna quickly get into some specs with the truck and then we'll go out and drive it. So first off, there's a few things you guys need to know before we take this out and tow with it. Payload capacity, 1,020 pounds. Very important, and obviously that does include occupants. Now this does have a tow haul mode, so you guys can see there's all these different modes right here. It's at the top right there. So all you have to do is just press that tow haul mode and then it'll pretty much do everything for you. Super simple system, absolutely awesome. And then if you guys are wondering, with the boat here, weighs 5,700 pounds, so then you can imagine we're gonna have about 570 pounds transferred to the tongue, because this is a bumper pull, so you usually get a weight transfer of about 10%. And I want you guys to quickly look here at the suspension and everything. So again, we've got 570 pounds roughly on the tongue, and you guys can see how that kind of levels everything out with the truck. But yeah, let's take it out, see how it drives, and see if it's able to tow this behemoth of a boat. We are setting off here in the Frontier Pro 4X, and we are doing the towing test with the truck. So we've got it in the tow haul mode, and getting up and moving, it actually gets up at a really decent pace. I'm so surprised. So if you guys don't know, right now we're probably at about 6,000 feet elevation roughly, so we're obviously going to have a little bit of power loss because this is a naturally aspirated engine. But on top of that, we've got this trailer behind us, and yeah, the truck's really not struggling whatsoever. I'm super impressed with that. I think this might actually tow better than the TRX guys, which is kind of sad to say, but you know what? It is what it is, as they say. Yeah, it's super, it handles great too. Like, it's not intimidating whatsoever. And you guys saw initially at the first part of the video just like how big this boat is. It weighs close to 6,000 pounds. It's not quite that much, but yeah, pretty heavy boat to be towing around. And I mean, this truck is just doing a fantastic job. Now, from a suspension standpoint, you can definitely perceive a little bit of a difference with this loaded up versus when it was completely unloaded. But it doesn't ride rough or anything like that. It's still very smooth, even though it's fully loaded up. And so that's definitely, it's awesome that they were able to do that. And then again, when I did the quick walk around, you guys saw with the compression and everything with the shocks, you still have a little bit to go. And so we could even go maybe a little bit heavier, right? Which is just awesome. And then yeah, it's cool that we have all these turns right here, so you guys can really see how this handles with the boat behind us. And we're able to keep up speed as well. So, you know, sometimes when you're towing something like this, you kind of have to really slow down around corners like that because it's kind of scary with the stability and everything, but this just holds its own and it's super stable as well. I'm really impressed with this from a towing perspective. I didn't think it was gonna tow this well, being a little mid-sized truck, to be honest. Coming up here with the braking, we're gonna see just how well this stops. It's downshifting for us, which is definitely nice. And then we are going to get a full-blown acceleration here with the boat. Yeah, handling with it's great. So I'm not going full throttle. I'm about 3/4 on the throttle, and it's like the perfect amount where I'm getting up to speed, but on top of that, I'm not really like pulling too hard to make things crazy or unstable. Yeah, got up to speed at a really decent pace. You guys got to remember, naturally aspirated V6, and we're at really high elevation and it still gets up to speed at just such a good pace considering the weight that we're towing here. And now that we're going a little bit faster, what I can feel with this suspension, right, there's a little bit of up and down, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. I'm kind of used to towing with the truck and having the truck just kind of bounce quite a bit more, so I'm impressed that this is doing it as smooth as it is. And it is kind of windy here today, and I can kind of feel the back and forth motion a little bit, but again, it's really easy to handle. Stability is great overall. Yeah, I did not think, like I said, I did not think it was going to be this good. Slowing down from going higher speeds, still downshifting for us. Yeah, that's awesome. And we get a roundabout, so we get to see some handling here again with the boat. See if we can make it. Just kidding, we will. We'll be fine. Okay, now we're gonna throw the traction control off and we're gonna do a drift and see if the boat survives. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's handling it great. Yeah, I'm super impressed with that. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a harder braking zone. So let's pretend like there's a situation where you really have to, yeah, still it's super stable. So here is another acceleration with the boat, and this time I'll go full throttle to see kind of how that feels. Yeah, pretty interesting. So it actually does better when you're partial throttle and you let it sit where there's peak torque with this engine for a little bit longer. And I mean, it makes sense, right? That's just best for towing. It still gets up and goes at a really good pace when you're full throttle, but if you are going to be towing with this, I would recommend just pull back a little bit so that you're at peak torque for a little bit longer, and then it's just going to get up and go at a much better pace, and it's going to feel a lot more comfortable as well. But I guess that'll get me into summing things up here with the towing. I guess you guys can see here with the lane changing as well. Still super easy. But again, acceleration is really solid, all things considered, right? We're pretty close to the max towing capacity of this truck, and it's doing a really good job with getting up and moving. Braking is great, even in a more like emergency situation, right? We kind of test that where he sort of slammed on the brakes, still does a really good job and handles the rebound of the boat. And then handling is really good. It's really controllable at higher speeds as well. The suspension's smooth. And so overall, it's a great towing truck. And I mean, if it's able to do this good, a towing job this good at elevation this high, just imagine if you're at sea level, it's going to do a much better job. And so yeah, definitely a solid tow vehicle. We've got this descent here, so you guys can see again the automatic braking that we saw when we'd slow down, but it'll happen again for this hill where it'll automatically downshift for us and kind of do a little bit of engine braking. Then also we have the boat. You got to remember, it's pushing against us. Yeah, it does a really good job going down that stuff. I'm impressed. This is our outside view on the turning radius here with the boat and everything. Look at that. Ooh, there's another one. So crazy though that the Frontier can tow a boat that big. Would have never thought. This is the short driving clip I'm going to include in the full review with the new Frontier Pro 4X. Obviously had to wait for the embargo, but I just want to talk about how this truck drives off-road. It actually does a really good job. So obviously I released that video that was me not talking whatsoever, and it was just me driving. If you guys are wondering, four-wheel drive, low, axle locked, and this thing just climbs hills like there is no tomorrow. It does a really good job. And then the front camera definitely helps out quite a bit. Now, the thing I will say is the front camera goes off at like 6 miles an hour, which